أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Picking up with the legendary military ideology, this would be video number 74 if yours truly is correct on that note. Your humble orator is Muhammad Israel. We are going to be picking up from page number 420. This is subsequent to the legendary military empire of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the era of Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan. Also, the legendary military government of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the era of Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab. And the legendary military legacy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the era of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and the legendary military career of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Madanite era. Now again we're picking up from that page number 421, bulletin 2.4, administrative concepts of Amirul Mu'minin, the door of the city of knowledge, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. Emphasizing the human element, Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu wrote to one of his workers and said, I quote, some of the chiefs of your people complained about your being harsh, hard-hearted, disrespectful, and hostile. So wear for them a garment of softness mixed with a little strictness, alternating between strictness and kindness toward them, bringing them close to you sometimes and keeping them away from you sometimes, insha'Allah. Okay, I think we covered that. We need to move on to 2.4.2 actually. So we want to speed it up a little bit at the bottom of the page. The experience and knowledge factor. In this regard, Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu confirmed the importance of the leader having experience and knowledge. If that is the case, then he has the right to be obeyed. Otherwise, he should not be obeyed. Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu said, you should obey the one whom you have no reason not to obey on the basis of his ignorance. And I quote once more, you should obey the one whom you have no reason not to obey on the basis of his ignorance. Very deep saying, you would have to, comb through it a little bit. And it's a very small, sentence. In other words, you should obey the one whom you have reason not to obey. Obey the one whom you have no reason not to obey them. As long as they don't give you one of the reasons or a reason not to obey them, then obey them. On which basis? On the basis of his ignorance. He is ignorant. Where is the ignorance in this? You have no reason. In other words, there is no reason. So since there is no reason, there is no knowledge. That's the basis of the ignorance. And this is as they used to, have the deep thinkers think deeper. And let us continue. If he is ignorant, then they have no reason to obey him because he may lead them to doom. He also said there is no obedience to any created being if it involves disobedience towards the Creator. And I want to say that, unless this saying is of that manner, where that individual should be obeyed, since there is ignorance as to why he is not to be obeyed. If it's not that, then it's definitely along the lines of a typo, but also we can see the wisdom in ignorance as to the individual himself not being one who we have knowledge of their misfortunate circumstantial errors and mistakes and so on. Again, as it says here, if that, in that case, knowledge and experience, okay? So the ignorance is a problem. The ignorant one who has no knowledge of the different issues will end up committing disobedience towards the Creator by doing something haram. And this is what we have today. We have all these leaders, they don't know. Unfortunately, they've been put in their respective places of reign only to be in service to other than Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. And this is a problem. Okay, 2.4.3, relationship between the leader and the follower. And Allah Jalla Jalaluhu knows best. Now we're just here as tools, we're no one. This relationship is not to be based on hierarchy. Rather, it is to be based on common interest between the leader and his followers. Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said to his governor when he sent him to Egypt, and I quote, "There are matters that you may have to deal with directly, such as discussing with your workers matters that could not be dealt with by correspondence, and dealing with people's needs which your workers could not handle as soon as you hear about them." Here we see a situation that canceled out the hierarchy completely. If the governor could not do this task, he may delegate this work to some people whom he trusts. Ali radiallahu anhu said, and I quote, "Check on those people who cannot meet you, people who are looked down on by others and to whom people show disrespect. Allocate to these people a man whom you trust and who is pious and humble, and let him tell you about their needs." End quote. This is clearly ignoring the bureaucratic attitudes that assume that everything should be done in strict accordance with the system, that no one has the right to go against the system, and that whoever goes against it is seen as breaking the system. Anti-Semitic. Let's pick up from the bottom of the page. Then Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu explained the haram that results from irresponsible rigidity and adherence to procedure. I quote, "The governors creating a barrier between themselves and the people represents a kind of hardship and lack of knowledge of what is happening. Keeping away from them creates a barrier that may make them have no idea of what they are deprived of. A prominent man may become insignificant in their eyes, and an insignificant man may become prominent. What is bad may become good, and vice versa, and truth will be mixed with falsehood." End quote. This is the harm of administrative procedures and strict adherence to them. Matters become ensnared in longer chains of procedures as they move from one official to another and to a third and fourth and fifth until they reach the ordinary people. This procedural chain that is occurring away from the direct supervision of the leader may turn things upside down. Thus, what is minor becomes major, what is true becomes false, what is good becomes bad, and what is bad becomes good. As Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, this is the problem with bureaucratic systems because they rely on chains of people through which administrative matters go one after another, and the people get diverted from their goals. The remedy offered by Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu is not to create barriers between an official and the people working under him, because doing that causes him to change his decisions or to implement them in a very bad way that is contrary to the good that he was aiming for. The mission or role of the leader is not limited to meeting with the people under him, Rather, he should provide a secure environment that enables the people under him to discuss their problems in a safe atmosphere and without any fear. The aim is not to have pointless meetings. It is essential to create a suitable atmosphere for these people so that they are useful. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said concerning that, and I quote, allocate some of your time for those who need something from you and sit with them in a public gathering. Show humility towards Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, who created you, and keep away from the gathering. From that gathering, your soldiers, helpers, bodyguards, and police, so that they may be able to speak to you without stumbling over their words. End quote. He sent a letter to his cousin Qatham ibn al-Abbas in which he said, and I quote, there should not be any envoy between you and the people except your tongue, and no gatekeeper except your face. End quote. There are other texts confirming the nature of the relationship between the leader and his followers, and stating that it should not be based on means or administrative restrictions or procedures. Rather, it should be based on face-to-face talk when there is no need for that. 2.4.4 Fighting rigidity. There are some administrative theories and systems which lead to rigidity, a waste of time and effort and neglect of people's rights. Rigidity. That's what it is. Moreover, there are many ideas that no one thinks of attempting in the first place because it would not take too long to get approval for them through administrative channels. Hence, Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said that whoever gives in to slow procedures will neglect rights and duties. End quote. 2.4.5 Proper and fair supervision. Supervision is important in any administrative system. Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu referred to this supervision when he said, and I quote, and send spies from among the trustworthy and loyal people to spy on them, for your checking on them secretly would motivate them to be sincere and kind to the people. End quote. According to Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, supervision and checking is a mercy and support to the one who is supervised, so that he will continue to carry out this work sincerely. Supervision must be done by people who are sincere and honest, so that their evaluation will be fair and not affected by whims and desires. This supervision is a helping factor in achieving progress and motivating individuals to work and to be honest in their work. Rigid laws have no place in the administrative thought of Amir al-Mu'minin, the door of the city of knowledge, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when these laws and regulations become obstacles preventing individuals from moving forward in the system, or a cause of rights and duties being neglected. 2.4.6 Appointment to official position should be done in accordance with guidelines and not personal connections. In this regard, Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib, the commander of the believers, confirmed his appointment of his governor in Egypt. And he said, and I quote, then look at the situation of your workers and appoint them after you test them. Do not appoint them on the basis of favoritism or for personal reasons. It is essential to carry out preliminary test on a person whom you plan to employ for some job The leader has to keep away from personal reasons when employing or promoting people to high positions. Then, end quote. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, then look at the situation of your scribes and let the best of them be in charge of your affairs, end quote. Not the closest of them to your heart or your family. There is no room for connections and emotions. The standard is the truth in addition to the ability to do the job with honesty and sincerity. 2.4.7 Proper management in the letter of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu to Al-Ashtar ibn Qais. This concept of proper management becomes clearer and clearer. And I quote, your position is not a reward, rather it is a trust placed on your shoulders and you are responsible to those above you. End quote. This indicates that Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander of the believers, regarded administrative work as a trust, and the person in a position of responsibility has to render this trust as is and take care of it. He is responsible before Allah Jalla Jalaluhu to do it properly. And he is responsible before his superiors. And I quote, those above you, end quote. As an acknowledgement of the importance of the hierarchy system, this was an important factor of bringing about the control and administration that prevented all aspects of negligence and deviation. Inshallah, we will end this one here at page number 625. And inshallah we'll catch you on the next one. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسم ربك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.